guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Claire. Today I'm going to be telling you guys how you can build out an entire 5-step skincare routine for under $100. Everything that I'm going to be showing you guys is all Asian skincare. Some of the products I have on hand, other ones are ones that I've used before, and maybe I currently don't have it, but I know that they work really well because I do want to give both recommendations for if you have dry skin and also if you have oily skin. And I will include all of the names and the prices on the screen and in the description box below so that you can see exactly how much they're worth and be able to kind of pick and choose a couple of different products to be able to build out your routine for under $100. First of all, the 5 steps in the skincare routine. Let's just talk about them. First, cleanser. Everyone always needs cleansers. We are going to include this as a very necessary and essential step in the skincare routine. Second, toners, or if you use Japanese skincare, they call them lotions. I don't know why, but just an FYI, a heads up. Toners to help prep your skin. Depending on if you have dry skin or oily skin, it's going to be a different type of a product, honestly, which is honestly like a game-changing tip that I would share with anyone is that the same product that someone who has oily skin uses and loves and swears by is maybe not going to be the best for you if you are dry skin prone, and vice versa as well. So second step is toners, properly prepping your skin, and we can talk about what that means as well. The third one is serums. I always feel like serums are important. If you do not have any problem with your skins, you can definitely 100% skip this, but we will include serums because I feel like serums are a very important part of any good skincare routine. The fourth thing is going to be some kind of a moisturizer, emulsions maybe if you're into Japanese skincare to be able to help lock everything in. And then, of course, the fifth step is always going to be sunscreen. We cannot forget sunscreens. We're going to be talking about sunscreen as the fifth step. Obviously, if this is a nighttime routine, you do not have to use sunscreens, but we're going to include them in our 5 steps of the skincare routine because it's super important. And so you need to have it. So first up is cleansers. So for cleansers, if you have dry skin, you are going to be using a different type of cleanser than if you have oily skin. So I have a couple of different options. You also, if you have a little bit more budget, you can definitely kind of combine a couple of these to be able to also do a double cleansing kind of routine. But if you're only like, I only want to have one product, 2 is like way too much for me, then you just go ahead and pick one. The first thing that I always like to recommend is some type of a cleansing water. I have a couple of different types of cleansing waters depending on what it is that you are looking for. I have 2 right here. This is a Korean skincare brand. This is a Japanese skincare brand. I've used up this one before and I've just repurchased it. But starting with this one, this is the brand Kiku Masa, and this is their rice made cleansing lotion. And this uses rice as a key ingredient. And so if you don't like rice, maybe you might want to be looking for something like this. But this is, first of all, let me see if I can find, this is 500 milliliters. Can we just talk about it? 500 milliliters, and you get it for honestly kind of an insane price. And so I just feel like sometimes I look at Japanese skincare, I'm like, oh, prices are a bit higher, like, you know, like the upper 20s. And I'm like, oh, but then you get 500 milliliters. So, you know, like it's kind of worth it because 500 milliliters lasts me a really long time. The way I like to use cleansing waters is that I like to use them on the days where I'm just staying inside or I don't really have that much going on. I have also dry skin, and so I don't need to be like overly washing my face. So if that kind of sounds like you, I feel like cleansing waters are going to be a really nice place to start. Talking about this one, this is the Round Lab Dokdo cleansing water, and so this one is going to be designed to be a little bit more hydrating. This one does have rice in it, which to me is going to help soften your skin. I personally like that a little bit more in my cleansing waters because I have other cleansers that I like to use that's going to be more of like a hydrating cleanser. And so this is just kind of what I prefer. If you want to have something that's more of a hydrating cleansing water, this one from Round Lab is going to be one of my favorites. There's also another one from Torridon that I've used, and it was actually what introduced me to the concept of cleansing waters, that I also really like. I currently do not have it on hand, but I will place the picture up on screen because I also really like that one as well. And so cleansing waters to me are going to be a great option for you if you are looking for something that is going to be super light. You don't really feel like you need to be extra like cleansing your skin that much extra, maybe because you do have dry skin, you're not really struggling with a lot of breakouts, your day-to-day is not super crazy. Cleansing waters are a great form of that. If you have oily skin, I currently do not have them on hand because I tried them out and I was like, this is way too much for me, but it would be perfect for oily skin. There is two that I tried out that is a little bit too much for me, but if you have oily skin, you need something a lot stronger, I would recommend one of the foam cleansers. There is one from a Japanese skincare brand called Corelle, where their foaming cleanser is really amazing. There's also one from Torridon that is also really amazing, which is a Korean skincare brand. And both of these options I feel like are so nice if you have oily skin, because it is foaming. It's going to be a little bit more drying if you have dry skin. So I personally do not enjoy the usage of foam cleansers in my personal skincare routine because I just feel like it's too much. Even if I have makeup on, it was a whole big massive day, I prefer to go in with my cleansing waters and really kind of like go in everywhere, maybe with like cotton pad or something of the kind, to like really remove all the makeup, and then go in with it again and kind of like get rid of anything else that's left extra, and then go in with my last more hydrating cleansers. And so for me, having dry skin, that's perfect. However, if you have oily skin, I do know that you need something a little bit stronger, and so that is where I would recommend having a foam cleanser, is that I feel like they're going to do a wonderful job at really being able to scrub out, I think, a lot of anything that's just kind of like clogging up your pores, because I know that's going to be a massive struggle with oily skin. I used to have oily skin. Can you imagine? I used to have oily skin and now my skin is like dry and dehydrated, which just whole other issue. But that is what I recommend. I really do love the Torridon one in particular because it's going to be more pH balanced, and so I always feel like something like that is going to be a lot better in cleansers, because I don't want my cleansers to be overly stripping, and especially when they're going to be a little bit stronger like a foam cleanser, I feel like the pH balanced ones are going to be a lot better for the overall health of your skin. If you have dry skin, you will want to look for something that's advertised as a milky cleanser. I love milk cleansers where they just come out like a milk and they just kind of like rub into your face almost like a lotion would. And then they're just so hydrating, but also like somehow leave your skin feeling really cleansed. I just don't even know. This is from a Japanese brand. This is from the brand Sekkisei under Kosei, and this is their white milky wash. So this, I have dry skin and I'm going in with a double cleansing routine. I like to go in first with my cleansing waters to be able to remove any of those impurities if I'm going outside, all the pollution that's like building up on my face, and then I like to go in with like a milky cleanser to be able to actually do a deeper cleanse. But because it's more of like a milk, it's going to be a lot more hydrating on my skin. It's not going to be really stripping it as much as something like a foam cleanser. Next, let's talk about toners. Toners, depending on if you dry skin or oily skin, is going to be a little bit different. And I say that because if you have oily skin, that means that your skin is missing more water, perhaps. Your skin needs water. Every oily skin still needs to be hydrated. Oily skin means that you just have excess oil production, but that does not mean that you do not need hydration. And then on the flip side, if you have dry skin, that just means that your skin is not actually producing enough natural oils in your skin barrier, and so you're missing that oil, which is going to give your skin the moisture. So like moisture, hydration, sometimes we use it interchangeably, but when it comes to oily skin versus dry skin, what your skin needs to actually stay balanced is going to look a little bit different. And so with that in mind, with toners are always going to basically, to me, like set the expectation of the rest of your skincare routine. So if we use a makeup analogy, I love to use a makeup analogy because sometimes it's just easier to imagine. If we're using makeup, we like to first use some kind of a primer. There's going to be different types of primers, the more hydrating one, something that's a little bit tackier. And so depending on maybe like the kind of foundation that you're using, there's going to be different ones that maybe you prefer. It's going to be the same thing with toners. Toners are going to set the stage for everything else that you're using after it. And so you want to tailor your toner to your specific skin type. For me, I have dry skin, so let's just start with dry skin. I like to prep my skin with a lot of emollients, skin softeners, something that's going to really, really help prepare it to actually bring in all of the moisture. And so I'm not going to be looking for toners that's going to be more hyaluronic acid based, for example, more glycerin based. Those are going to be amazing, but they're not necessarily what I'm prioritizing. I want to prioritize the toners that's going to be more emollients. So the couple ones that I've been using that I really love for a skin conditioner, I have two. This one I just finished up. I found the empty bottle in one of like the bins that I was like saving, and I'm really glad that I did, so I can show you guys I finished this. This is the Naturi Hatamoji skin conditioner. The one that I currently just started using because I finished that one is this one. This is from Saison. This is just called their skin conditioner. I think it's called Saison, but it's like a Saison with a C, not Saison with the S, like the French clothing brand. Really throws me off sometimes. But both of these are an amazing skin conditioner for you to use if you have dry skin. I always use some kind of a skin conditioner as the very first step in my skincare routine. Of course, my skincare routine, I like to go crazy. I also kind of need to because I'm now both dry and dehydrated at the same time. And so I go in with multiple toners, multiple serums, multiple products, but I will always use something like this first to start off with so I can make sure that my skin is really, really prepped for everything else that comes after it. And so if you're looking for one product to be able to help you prepare your skin, I really, really like this. If you have dry skin, you're looking for other types of toners that you can go in with. I really, really love to use rice. And so this is the current rice toner that I've been using. This is from the brand I'm From, which is a Korean skincare brand. This is just a rice toner. There's also one that's really, really hyped up. I actually haven't tried that one yet, so I cannot tell you if I recommend it or not. But that one is the Tier Milky skin toner, which I also have heard great things about. But I love going in with like a rice toner. This is one of the ones I've been using. Now, if you have oily skin, and especially because if you have oily skin, I know you probably don't want to be putting a lot onto your face. I recommend looking for toners that's going to be more focused on the humectants such as glycerin, hyaluronic acid. Personally, between the two, I prefer glycerin. If you want my personal opinion. But so I would look for something like that. The Round Lab Dokdo toner, I've heard wonderful things about. There's also another one from Torden that I really, really like as well that I've tried out. They're personally not going to be the best for me at this stage because I just feel like my skin is just so dry, so dehydrated, just missing so many things. And so I currently am not using those. But if you have oily skin, that is what I recommend. I would just recommend looking for something that's going to be based off of different humectants to be able to give you that hydration and that water into your skin. Okay, serums. Oh my gosh, serums you can take in so many different directions, and this is also going to depend on specifically what it is that your skin is looking for, and not necessarily maybe if you have dry versus oily skin. However, I will just give you guys a couple different recommendations depending on what it is that you are looking for. So first of all, if you're looking for hydration, I really recommend adding in some kind of a ceramide. I've personally found, especially for dry skin that is missing some of those oils, the ceramides are going to be the best and the most hydrating. You can also look for things that's going to be more of like humectant space, for example, with the hyaluronic acid and glycerin. One of my favorite hydration products is from the brand APLB. I just ran out of their product. I do not currently have it on hand, but they have a hyaluronic acid ceramide ampoule serum that I think is really, really amazing because it combines both the ceramides as well as the hyaluronic acid. And so you kind of almost feel like you're getting a little bit of both, and it's also super lightweight. And so that's always going to be my number one recommendation for if you have oily skin. I've also done a separate video on my channel about this for oily skin if you want to check it out. But that is something where I recommend because I feel like you're gonna get a lot of different types of ingredients, and it's super, super lightweight, and so it won't really weigh down your skin in that sense. But if you have dry skin, my recommendation is this one. This is from AMPOULES. This is their ceramide shot serum, and I just love this so much. I purchased it, repurchased it, used up so many bottles of these, and this is still one of my favorite ones, especially for dry skin. It's going to be a lot thicker of a formula, as you guys can tell. You guys can see it's kind of like a lot more milky, a lot more concentrated, and so it's not going to be something that's super, super lightweight. I still think that it blends in really, really well with the rest of my skincare. I've never had an issue with the thickness of this. But if you're looking for something more lightweight, I think the APLB one would be a lot nicer. I just also feel like for this one, you just get, this is a 100 milliliter one, and you get such a massive bang for your buck with the 100 milliliter version. If you are looking for something to kind of like soothe out a lot of like the redness, this is currently what I really, really love. This is from Skin 1004. This is their Centella Asiatica ampoule. And I actually do not use it on my face, but I use this on the rest of my body because I'm currently pregnant, and so I love to actually use this on my stretch marks area to kind of like help with some of the sensitivity with the redness. And I also just find Centella to be like a very calming ingredient, and so on my face I don't really have that problem. On the rest of my body I definitely do, and so that is currently what I really, really like. And so out of all of the different Centella formulas that I've tried out, this one from Skin 1004 is still going to be my absolute favorite. I just feel like this formulation is best. It's also a lot lighter, and so it's going to feel a lot more lightweight on your skin as well, especially if you have oily skin that tends to get a little bit irritated. I think this is going to work out amazing. And I just feel like this one does so much, but there is a very specific purpose. And so if you don't actually struggle with any sensitivity, if you don't really have that much redness, I don't feel like adding this into your skincare is going to really do much for you. But if that is something you're struggling with, something like this is going to be really, really nice. If you are looking to brighten your skin, there's a couple options I have tried out before that I really, really like. It's from Access Y. I currently do not have it anymore because I finished it, but it's from Access Y, and it's one of their brightening serums, and it does not contain vitamin C. The thing with me and vitamin C is that vitamin C can tend to be a little bit more drying on my skin, and I've tried out a couple of other vitamin C serums in the past that I've really, really liked, but I have no longer been adding in as much vitamin C into my skincare because I just feel like it dries me out more than it actually benefits. So I actually really, really like the Access Y one. And if you want another recommendation, something else I've also been really liking is this niacinamide version that contains both niacinamide and rice. This is from Dr. Cerulean. This is a vegan niacinamide and rice ampoule, and so it comes in like this cute little thing, and you can kind of see the it's going to be a lot more of like a thicker, kind of like milkier formula, but I really, really like this one as well. And so depending on whether or not niacinamide works for you, if that's something you're looking for. Okay, next let's talk about moisturizers. Moisturizers are kind of exciting because in Japanese skincare you also have this concept of emulsions, and emulsions are like a wonderful way to kind of like mix and match and play with the moisturizer and like the thickness, and you can also kind of like combine them both if you want to add them to your evening skincare routines. This is from a Japanese skincare brand that I really, really enjoy using their products. This is Naturi. I've talked about them a lot, but this is kind of, for example, a pairing. This is their gel, and this is their emulsion, which is sometimes called like a milk, but you guys can see their gel is like so lightweight, such a wonderful consistency, where it is going to feel so amazing on your skin. If you want something that's going to be a lot more lightweight, this is going to be wonderful for you. Whereas if you take a look at their emulsions, this is thick. This is like, okay, wow, yeah. This may not work out very well for you for like maybe like an everyday if you're oily, but maybe for like a nighttime and you want to pair these together, they would work out really well. Or maybe if you have dry skin, you're looking for just one thing, then an emulsion would be really, really amazing. Or maybe you want to be able to just use them both together during the daytime because you're really dry and you're also extra like me. You just don't want to have a lot of extra things that you're using. So depending on what it is that you're looking for, you can definitely kind of mix and match emulsions. And I think that's what's really, really amazing about emulsions, is that they're going to be so many different kinds and different types of thicknesses, and you can also combine them with different thicknesses of moisturizers as well. Another really, really nice moisturizer for dry skin, just if you want to have another alternative, is this one from Istura. This is the ATO barrier lotion, and this is with ceramides, and it's a moisturizing lotion for strengthening the skin barrier, designed for dry and sensitive skin. So if you have dry skin, this is what you're looking for. It has ceramides. Ceramides is one of like the natural fats that is in our face, and we need to have a lot of it to be able to retain all of the moisture. We love that. And so this is one that I also recommend. This texture is going to be a little bit almost kind of in between. It's not going to be like the thickest ever, but it also feels really, really nice. And it does give you a really, really nice barrier to be able to protect everything else that you've already used up. And so it feels really, really nice. It is lightweight, but also thick at the same time. And so if you have dry skin, it's not going to weigh you down. Also, if you do have oily skin, you're looking for something that's really nice as like a nice night balm, this would be what I recommend. Last but not least, let's talk about sunscreens. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm planning to do a whole separate video for you guys on testing out all of the most viral Japanese sunscreen brands, because I recently just found out, to my great despair and sadness, that my ultimate holy grail favorite product ever, which is my Japanese sunscreen, was discontinued. It is by the brand Roto. It is the Skin Aqua UV Moisture Milk. It's in the little blue bottle. Everyone loves it. Everyone raved about it. Everyone loves it. I don't know why they discontinued it. I hope they're just like reformulating it and then they're gonna bring it back or something. But as of now, they're being discontinued. It's made me so sad because I've not had to go on a search for a new sunscreen in a really long time, and it's really tripping me up. Let's talk about the OG. This is a Beauty of Chosun sunscreen. This is the Relief Sun Rice and Probiotics. This is SPF 50 plus. And they have two versions of this. They have this original one, and they also have the Aqua Fresh one. And I believe the Aqua Fresh is meant to be a little bit more hydrating. I personally think that both formulations are wonderful. I do prefer this original formula, however, between the two, just for me, for the uses of sunscreen in particular, because I use a lot of other products. And so I feel like the other one is like, gets a little bit too heavy sometimes. But so this is one of like the original favorites that everybody talks about, but honestly, I think for good reason. I think it just has really, really nice texture. I also think it's really, really affordable. And let me show you guys how it blends out into my skin. I think it blends out. It doesn't really leave that much of a white cast. Honestly, it doesn't really leave any white cast. My husband is brown and he uses this, and he does not have any problems with this. And this is his absolute favorite sunscreen that he uses out of everything. I've made him try so many different ones because it's like, I also want to know, I'm like, okay, is this going to leave a white cast on you? It may not leave a white cast on me, but he's brown. So if it leaves a white cast on him, then it's not good enough. It's not good enough of a sunscreen. But so, this is an OG. This is a favorite for a reason. I still highly, highly recommend this. Another Japanese sunscreen that I have tried out that I really like, it's going to be a little bit thicker. It comes in this really cute packaging. I just recently repurchased it. Let me open this up for you guys. And I repurchased it because it was one of the ones I did know that I like. This is from the brand Can Make. This is the Mermaid Skin UV Gel. This is designed for both face and body. This is going to be a little bit thicker. And so let me show you guys. Like a tiny dot. You can kind of see it blends out to be a little bit thicker than the Beauty of Chosun one. So if you have dry skin, you want a little bit of like a thicker sunscreen, maybe because you're going with like a really light moisturizer, you want to still be able to lock everything in. This Can Make one is like a really nice option, considering that my favorite Holy Grail one is gone. And so this is kind of like gonna be the two that I currently recommend, just because I'm now on the hunt for new sunscreens. But there's so many amazing sunscreens out there from Asian skincare brands, and I want to just say the reason why they're so amazing is because they're so innovative. The US has not approved any new filters, sunscreen filters for sale in the 21st century since like 1999. And so for the past 25 years, the rest of the world, Europe, Asia, the Pacific, has all moved on, all created amazing sunscreens with new updated filters that's gonna really protect your sun so much more. And we're still using the old same sunscreen filters here in the US, not to mention ours are like so expensive for like good sunscreen, and I just don't think it's worth it. And so to me, most Asian sunscreens are going to be better. Asian sunscreens, however, are not designed for really being water resistant. That's kind of sometimes why you hear about people really raving about, for example, like Australian sunscreens, New Zealand sunscreens, is because water sports are a much bigger part of their life. And so if you're looking for something super water resistant, that's going to be really nice for you. However, I think that nothing beats the wearability and the texture and the feeling of Asian sunscreens, because the true benefit of sunscreen comes from actually wearing it every single day. Wearing it every day, even if it's gloomy outside. I stay in all day inside and I'm still using SPF 50 because the sun can just kind of come through, and I just don't want any of that. The sun is much more powerful than our windows. And so that is what I think Asian sunscreen does really well. If you need to get yourself into the practice of wearing sunscreen because you do not like it, I recommend looking out for the Asian sunscreens, because you're going to feel so much nicer on your face in a way that almost feels like a moisturizer, and that's going to get you into the good habit of sun care. Okay, so those are my favorite products, my favorite affordable products for if you're trying to build out your 5-step skincare routine for under $100. I hope that I included a lot of different options for you guys to pick and choose from, to be able to get everything within under 100. But I buy everything on YesStyle. If you want to use my discount code is claire.shaykazi. You can combine it with other site-wide discount codes. And so if you go onto YesStyle's website, they might have different coupon codes for maybe like 10% off, 15% off. You can combine my code claire.shaykazi along with those as well, and you can maximize your discounts. And I always tell everyone in that, because I just feel like, especially in this economy, like, why wouldn't you want to maximize your discounts? If you can get some site-wide discounts and you can get additional discounts on top of that, like, go for it, go crazy. So that's what I recommend. I really love YesStyle. I've never had any issues from them. All of these products I purchased myself on YesStyle. I use my own money. I go on YesStyle, I buy it, I wait for shipping, and shipping is usually to me very quick. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you're diving into your skincare routine process, I just want to tell you it can get very overwhelming, but do not freak out. You've got this. Start out small. Start with a couple products. Don't go crazy. And I hope that you will find something that you liked, and hopefully something I recommended here has kind of piqued your interest. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Claire, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.